Stitched with resilience, guest user. Stitched with resilience, some lessons in life come wrapped in loss. At 18 years old, Zainab Bello stood at a crossroads she never asked for. Her parents were gone, killed in a road accident on the Ibadan-Ilorin Expressway. And in one devastating moment, everything she knew as home disappeared. Her uncle, Alhaji Karim, came to the funeral. He wore a sympathetic face, spoke words of comfort, and promised her a place in his home in Ilorin. Zainab believed him. She packed her small bag, wiped her tears, and told herself, "At least I still have family." But blood doesn't always mean belonging. The house in Ilorin was crowded, loud, full of life that didn't include her. Zainab was given a thin mat, placed beside the kitchen. That was her bed. Every morning before the sun rose, she was already awake, sweeping, cooking, washing. Her cousins slept in soft beds, wore new clothes, laughed freely. Zainab wore the same torn dress for weeks, and when she walked by, they whispered loud enough for her to hear. The charity case. Her aunt made sure Zainab understood her place. "You should be grateful," she'd say. "We didn't have to take you in." Zainab swallowed her pride, swallowed her pain, and kept working. But at night, when the house finally grew quiet, she allowed herself to dream. One evening, walking past the neighborhood tailor's shop, Zainab noticed something. Scraps of fabric, bright colors, beautiful patterns, thrown away like trash. She looked around and quietly picked them up. That night, by the dim flickering light of a kerosene lamp, Zainab sat on her mat with needle and thread. Her hands moved slowly at first, uncertain, then, with purpose, stitch by stitch, she turned those scraps into something beautiful. A small yellow dress with green trim. It wasn't perfect, but it was hers. And for the first time in months, she smiled. Zainab began collecting more scraps, stitching more designs. While her cousins slept, she worked. While they mocked her during the day, she dreamed in color at night. Sewing became her escape, her therapy, her hope. But hope doesn't always protect you from cruelty. One evening, Zainab's aunt stormed into the kitchen, face twisted with rage. "Where is my money?" she screamed. "I know you took it." Zainab's heart dropped. "Auntie, wallahi, I didn't take anything. I swear." The slap came fast, hard. Zainab fell to the floor, her cheek burning. Her uncle stood in the doorway, silent, watching. He said nothing. "Get out," her aunt spat. "Take your things and go." Zainab was thrown out with only a small nylon bag. The gate slammed behind her. Rain began to fall. She walked through the wet streets, alone, ashamed, with nowhere to go. Eventually, she found shelter under the veranda of the local mosque. She sat there in the dark, pulling her knees to her chest, and cried. Not loud, angry tears, just quiet, broken ones. She was 18, orphaned, homeless, and invisible. But someone saw her. A woman who sold food near the mosque noticed the girl shivering in the shadows. Her name was Mama Sadia. She walked over, crouched down, and handed Zainab a warm cup of tea. "Oh, mommy, my child, what happened to you?" Zainab couldn't speak at first. The kindness felt foreign. Finally, she whispered, I have nowhere to go. Mama Sadia didn't hesitate. Then you'll come with me. That night, Zainab learned something powerful. Family isn't always about blood. Sometimes it's about who shows up when no one else will. Mama Sadia didn't just give Zainab shelter, she gave her a future. She introduced her to a local fashion designer who needed an apprentice. Zainab's hands, the same hands that stitched by lamplight, now learned professionally. She absorbed everything: cutting, draping, beading, pattern making. Every stitch carried the weight of her pain and the promise of her resilience. Months turned into years. Zainab's skill grew, her confidence returned. She moved to Lagos, the city of dreams and hustle. She worked harder than anyone around her, and slowly, the girl who once slept beside a kitchen began appearing on runways. Her designs were featured in magazines. Celebrities wore her clothes. People started asking, who is Zainab Bello? 4 years after being thrown out, Zainab returned to Ilorin, but this time she wasn't invisible. She stepped out of a sleek car, dressed in an outfit she designed herself. Elegant, powerful, radiant. A crowd had gathered for the grand opening of her first fashion studio. The sign read ZB Threads. Whispers spread through the crowd. That's her. That's Zainab. Her uncle stood at the edge of the crowd. He couldn't meet her eyes. Her aunt looked down. The cousins who once mocked her now stared in silence. But Zainab didn't come back for revenge. Inside her studio, young girls sat at sewing machines, girls from broken homes, girls who'd been told they were nothing. Zainab moved between them, teaching, encouraging, empowering. She gave them what Mama Sadia had given her, a chance, because she understood something her uncle never would. True strength isn't about power, it's about lifting others when you rise. Zainab's story reminds us of something we often forget. Hardship can break us, or it can shape us. Cruelty echoes, but so does kindness. And no matter how dark the night, resilience can stitch together a new dawn. Zainab Bello didn't just survive. She became the woman her younger self needed. And that is the most beautiful design of all. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more stories of strength, hope, and triumph. And remember, your worth is not defined by how others treat you. You are already enough.